Okay, so usually I edit my pictures using Capture One and Photoshop. So I first do my color correction and color grading, light color grading in Capture One. Then afterwards I do normal retouching, frequency separation, dodge and burn, and iron teeth whitening, and then maybe any form of manipulation in Photoshop. But today we'll be starting with the Capture One. This new Capture One I got it from a friend, um, John Clare. He's also a very great photographer in Abuja. Thanks to him, I got this Capture One today actually, and I'm anxious to use it. So now I will be focusing on the in-depth training for this Capture One class exactly. But I want us to just get the gist of what I'm trying to say. I want us to just understand what's happening. You get. So if you have any question, like I said, you can just drop it in the comments. I'm actually looking at the comments, so I'll just answer any of you. So like I said, this is lesson model. Did this shoot a while ago, and it looks pretty natural and cool. And I feel it just has this normal vibe for a beautiful picture. So I'm working on my picture today. We'll just pick random shots that we can actually use, then edit it. Okay, let me see which one should we work on. Okay, let me look for full shot. I think full shots actually gives pretty for this one. Okay, let me work on this one. This one. Okay, let me do this guy like the color pop. When the color pops, and then it's actually dope to work on pictures that the background is still showing fully, at least for those of us that want to know how to also clean background and stuff. So the first thing I do is to color correct. Now this image looks great, but I feel it looks underexposed. So particularly, I first make sure I play around with my temperature. I feel my picture is looking a bit warmer. Normal, this is the default, but I like sorry, looking cooler. Sorry, so I like my picture looking a bit cooler. All of our preferences. At any point you have any question, like I said, you can just let me know. So I'll just brighten up the image a bit. Just brighten up the image a bit. And I want it to be looking like model. Okay, so yes, brighten up a little bit. Using exposure. Increase my exposure a bit to brighten up the picture. Contrast just a little bit. Basically, the aim of this is to just make it look natural. Now, remember, you might have different preferences when it comes to how you want your picture to be exposed, but particularly, I prefer it this way. I prefer it looking lit enough. So now for the highlights, I usually drop my highlights is because most times around the head area, you see the exposure is quite much. I don't like this exposure much. So instead of just dropping the whole and the brightness of that before. It is to just drop the whole exposure. I want to maintain this brightness in the skin, but then reduce the brightness on her forehead. That's where the highlight reduction comes in. Then I increase my shadow a little bit just to give me a feel of around our leg area to just brighten the leg area. So just it's going to be moderate, it's not going to be too much, so I won't have our face overexposed. Then my blacks a little bit just to still maintain the shot because when I increase my shadows, the black speaking of the dark part of the picture most times we want to lose its contrast. So I do that. Now for the levels, it is still like I said earlier on, this is all part of making a picture look great. So you just have to adjust the levels to make sure it still works fine. This will increase my contrast from this arm, will just increase the exposure. So just make sure it's moderate enough. Then I'm adjusting this a little bit to this side to just still make this part a bit bright, which will be reasonable enough. Then the next part from this particular picture, what I would work on is the colors. Now this image doesn't have much color, so it shouldn't be an issue trying to make anything pop. I think I like it as natural as it looks. If it's an image where there are a lot of props or stuff ahead, I can actually decide to do something else with the colors, but I just want to maintain this particular color for now. Now, for the skin, if you notice, her face is brighter than her hands and the legs. Now, there are ways to do this thing. Generally speaking, you can actually just zoom into the part of the skin that you want to maintain, the skin kind of skin tone you want to maintain for the rest part of the body. Usually, I would recommend you recognize your highlights and the shadows, but then use the main tone. Main tones highlights are like the area of the image that is very bright. Shadows are the parts that is dark, like around under her cheekbone. Now her cheekbones area is kind of dark. If you notice on her elbow axis, her elbow area is kind of dark, but I would instead pick say around this part to define the skin tone I want to work with. Now when you do that under the skin tone features, you see amount and unify. Now these are both tricky. I will explain the differences. Now for amounts generally increases the aspects like the saturation, or it generally affects the saturation and the brightness of the picture. Generally, you get that's areas of the skin that actually has that color generally. But then uniformity makes sure it blends. So amounts just increases for all areas respectively. So both areas that is 10% bright, and that is 70% bright. If you increase the when you increase the saturation or lightness for those areas is automatically just add the same ratio to everything. But if you're increasing uniformity, automatically it finds a way to blend everything together. Let me show you a typical example of what I'm talking about. Now see for the saturation, if you notice everything is just becoming kind of yellow under amount. But for excuse me. But for the uniformity, you notice that everything will just it kind of like makes the whole color for everything uniform, makes it the same. Kind of just shift it equally. Okay, this might not show the significant difference, but let's use this amount now. If you see amount, in general just expose the picture. You get so if you look at it, the face is still brighter than the leg. It's still the same ratio of brightness for the image, but it just increases everything generally. But uniformity kind of blends it, so it's trying to make sure there's equal brightness for the yellow field. This color we registered here equally. It's trying to blend everything to be of equal value. Now this can be tricky. This is actually okay because it makes your picture generally look okay and good, but most times it takes away the beauty in the contrast of the image. So personally, I like keeping it on a moderate level. I like keeping it on a moderate level just to make sure everything is dope. Then the saturation can be increased a bit just to give me the nice feel. Now this is so far this is a before and after, before and after. Can we to get that? Okay, so far so good. Now normally I'm supposed to create what's it called mask. Let's try the mask. Let me do it now. So I'm not doing laziness. So if you want to create like in Photoshop, this is called masking for those that have started. Me are already used to editing, but for beginners, layers. So those are called layers. So layers are like different slides of what you do. Let me put it that way. Just imagine editing now is like spreadsheet, like a paper that you work on. So anything you do, it is stored on a particular paper, like you're sketching. Now, if you say you're creating a layer, it's like a new paper that will carry the new thing you're doing, but still put everything together for you to see them total, like a summarized amount or a summarized view rather of everything you're doing. So under there by default, there's only one layer, but we'll create a new layer. Basically, you need to create a new layer. If it were to be old capture one, creating a new layer would have actually made sense because that way now, I'll just create a new layer, but here manually, and then I will now have to pick my brush tool from this part and come and start selecting the area of the face that I want to work on. But that's actually not necessary now because this Photoshop and this capture one I'm using actually makes sense. It has a way to automatically select your subject. If you look at this part here, You see this feature here, you see the select subjects, select background, and select people. And the craziest thing now is this is so dope that it will load everything, automatically select the subjects. Now let me show you a typical example of the subject selected. So you see, let me make it visible. Let me make so this is it selecting the subject, as funny as it is. So now it has three settings. Selecting subject will select the whole, everybody, the person that is on, that is in the background, that is in the image, the whole body from the head to the toe. And I can, as you can see, it does a pretty good job here. Like it's pretty accurate. This is like dope. This is a different level of accuracy for me. But it's not the whole subject I want because I'm not working on all her body, including her clothes. I just want to work on only her face, only her skin rather. And this is where the people part comes in. So under this, you can actually select where you want to work on. If it's just if it's the body skin alone or the face skin, or like you get, you select literally everything and then you just pick. So now obviously I want to, because it's her skin tone I'm working on, I want to just pick just her skin. So just the face and the skin. That's why I'm not going to select the eye pupil and all the other sort of stuff. Then you just select it, it loads it, and it does the trick. This is like a game changer, if you ask me. Literally a game changer. Though there are some things you might need to touch on because of the it's it's still AI and it has to like do one or two things that you might actually need to sharpen. So personally, because of for accuracy's sake, I'll just deselect some of this part it's selected to avoid it affecting her dress. So whatever color I'm doing would not affect her dress. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Remember, if you have any question, you can just drop it in the comment section. I would address it immediately I see it. So I'll just deselect necklace too, so the gold will pop. Trust me, editing is becoming so easy, much more easier compared to how it used to be before. Now this might not be as neat as I would do it normally if I'm settling down to edit, because obviously working with time here, and this is like first time I'm streaming this way, so everything might still be a bit shaky. But with time, I'll still this for the day. I'm supposed to still drop another class for the editing. Now, pretty much this has done pretty much the trick, but I don't want it to always show me the area I've selected to avoid it looking like she's very module powder. So I want to still get this natural feel to just see what I'm doing particularly. So let's see. Now, okay. So now for the skin tone that I've selected, since that's the mask I'm working on, I can now come to the skin tone area and select a particular skin tone I prefer. When I do that, I can now come to the saturation and work on it, and it will not affect if you notice, it will not affect the clothes. It's not affect the other part of the image, like the clothes she's wearing and other stuff. So look at it. If you notice, look at it, just her skin tone, the areas that the areas are marked rather, that is affected. And I like that effect though. So pretty much it. I just want to just make it look reasonable enough. The rest I'll touch it up in Photoshop and increase my clarity a bit just to give good depth to it. Now, quickly before we move into Photoshop, I just want to make you guys understand something. One of the beautiful things about Capture One now is the fact that you can actually retouch on Capture One. Shout out to Capture One for this work. Like you literally can do a lot more than just color correct. So under these features, you see it even detected her face. It shows the face it detected. You can actually remove blemishes just by clicking it. If you notice, look at it. You see, this is the before with the blemish, like this pimples she has around here, and this is the after. Pimples 40 law. It's gone. You can also work on dark circles, work on the contouring for those of you that do dodge and burn. Here you can actually just get a dodge and burn effect. This is like very beautiful. So shout out to Captain One for the update. It's actually dope. But because me, I actually want to still work on my pictures in Photoshop, so I won't really do all the editing completely since I'm still going to do frequency separation. I'll just drop it a little bit, just give me just for the sake of using it. Now, since this is done, because of the purpose of this class, I'm just going to work on. I'm working on just this one for now, we're starting with just this picture first. So now in Capture One, you can actually copy the edits and paste it on other images. Though that's not what I'm doing now. That's not the purpose of this class now. So I'll just export it. Now when you finish exporting on Capture One, this might not be detailed class, but I want you to just follow up as accurately as possible. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. I'll treat it immediately. So to move this picture now to Photoshop, I'll right click on the particular image. If it's just an image, if it's multiple images, I select the multiple images, then I'll now right click. But since it's just this image, I'll just select the image, right click on the image in the image view here. Then you see edit with. Now there's open with, there's edit with. I usually use edit with because that way now it will be sent straight to Photoshop in the formats that I prefer. Here you can actually get to change the format you want to export it in. But I, because of the purpose of the editing in Photoshop, I like using the PSD format, so it just continues saving to my Photoshop work. 16 bits. This is setting basically. This is what works for me. This is what I use. I'm using for like forever. Now, most of these things, if you're the system you are using, the kind of PC you're using doesn't really change anything. If you're using a Mac or on Windows, it doesn't really change much. Most instances, you just shuffle between use of command or the use of Windows. Now, this is my Photoshop. Yes, this Photoshop, long story cut short, I paid for. I just started using this particular 2026. I just installed it today too. I tried to still use it for the whole test run thingy. And I'm the kind of person that I like having my things customized, my menu, my toolbar, and everything that I'll save it as a particular workspace for myself. And I kind of like that. So this basically is my Photoshop interface. These are my actions, layout, everything. So the first thing I do when I edit is the first thing I usually do is I first duplicate my layer because I don't want to affect the original image just in case you want to backtrack your steps or do anything. I like leaving my original layer, that's the background layer, intact. So I create a duplicate layer by either pressing Ctrl J or Command J on Ctrl J in Windows and Command J for Mac, or you simply drag the layer to this plus sign here and automatically creates another layer. But I prefer using the Control J. That will just create layer one. And most of my actions here, when I created them, I created them with reference to this layer one. So if I do the normal duplicate, you see it will make it background copy instead of the layer one. So I prefer using the layer one because that's how I've set my Photoshop for some time now. Now after that, the next thing I usually do is I clean up my background. I like working with a clean background because sometimes if you don't clean up your background, after I've started working on my pictures, it kind of like affects how I size up my pictures. So I really like cleaning up the background. So when I want to size generating, if I'm generating additional part of the background, it gets easy because that way it will just automatically use the plain background as a reference. And it won't start duplicating some of the tears on the paper background and stuff. Shout outs to House of BD Production, by the way. I used their studio space to create the shoots a few months ago. So it's in Guarimpa, First Avenue. In case you have like persons around that want to shoot and stuff, these guys are really available. Now I use the content generation field to generate. If you see the results it gives you, does pretty much it. I think Photoshop is actually doing a very great job doing getting this thing sorted out. So I would simply apply and okay it. Now, if you notice, it creates a new layer carrying just the changes I've made. Personally, I prefer it sticking to just the layer one. So most times to change to, if you want to change that, if you want to make changes, if you want to make sure it maintains this same layer one instead of creating another copy of layer one, what you simply do is when you right click here and content aware feature, you click content aware feature. Now in this setting here, what you simply do is you output should be on current layer, not new layer. Personally, I prefer being on current layer for my own, it's just my preference. It's not like it's anything serious. So I do the current layer, then I apply it. Once I apply it, it cleans up everything like this. Now I save my file because I don't want to get Cherry Cambia. Funny enough, like for those of us that use cracked Adobe. Sometimes they can just decide to flag your Photoshop and kick you out with reckless abandon, like immediately. Now, since I've done that, most of these images are posted on social media, right? So Instagram, Instagram, Facebook, X. The common format most of these social media use now is either 3 by 4 or 4 by 5. It was usually 4 by 5, but recently they implemented the 3 by 4 cropping techniques. So they kind of activated that too. So it made everything easy for us to just use some images that are quite long. And me personally, I look like image looking having more length because of it's usually viewed with phone. And phone obviously are longer you get. It's like I think like 1920 by 1080, or so 1080 by 1920. So the size of most phones now. So I do that. If you notice, I adjusted it because the image was looking kind of slanted. So I adjusted it to blend with the base of my background to make her look like she's actually standing properly. Now I'm doing that again because I want to make some changes here. Now, if you have to change for those of us that use recent Photoshop around here, you see the background defaults, creative generative expansion and content aware field. Now, most times I use the content aware field because that way it just analyzes the environment and expands the background automatically. Generative expand is still not bad. It's just going to use your AI feature to just generate what's meant to be there. But because I don't want to waste credit and stuff, I actually just like using my content aware field. That way now it's something that's quite easy. It's not that complicated for me to start doing much like that. And I like my images having looking. I like my model looking. How will I put it? Being in the image, not looking too cropped out. That's one thing I know that nowadays some persons will just do their image like this. It's not bad, but I feel giving allowance now brings out. That's like one of the things that actually makes the picture stand out now for me, judging from both my pictures and my pictures I see on social media. Most pictures now stand out when they like can see the image, celebrate it. Don't feel like you have to literally take your eyes back, like zoom out your consciousness to see the picture properly. So this is it. I think this works for me. So I just click OK, and it automatically generates this part of the image, making it look beautiful. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Um, feeling kind of dry. I've been talking for like some minutes now. Let me just get water to drink. Not sound professional, but I'm also human, so you just chill for a little bit. Okay, so yeah, it's generated it already. See, it did a pretty good job. I think editing now is quite easy because, like, literally the selection, the picking, the edit itself, everything is quite accurate, especially if you're using paid software. The cloud features, the online features of most of these softwares makes it very easy and seamless to work with them. Okay, so sorry, please excuse me. Now after the video layer now, the next thing I do is still on this layer one. I would remove blemishes, work on our hair, clean up the images and stuff. So most persons, this smile bracket here is most times as a result of stress. They don't stress, they stress themselves too much. I usually just clean it up a little bit, just make it look better, natural. Take this out a little bit, just make it neater. Now, one thing I want you to understand about editing generally is the fact that most times different persons have different methods they use to edit. As a matter of fact, I don't think all of us can even edit the same way. That's what makes the work outstanding. So what's the best thing for you to do is not to necessarily do the way someone does that. I think one of the things that I thank God for when it comes to my editing skill is the fact that I actually learned from a lot of persons, but I am not doing like any of them. So you might see touch of Prince Mason's work in my work, or you can even see touch of maybe who else again, big H pattern, his lighting, or maybe the way Amazing Clef retouches his picture, or Pod, or the likes of those guys that actually drop classes and stuff. I think one other person that is quite common for his YouTube tutorial video that year was Ronnie Photography. I think he's from Uganda. I think from Uganda, I'm not really sure. I know he's also an African country, and he's really, then when I started photography, I used to watch his tutorials well. A few years back, I was like, this guy, it's his class is actually quite self-explanatory. It's really easy to learn and stuff. But now the thing there is not to do it exactly as they are doing theirs, but to instead bring out so you understand what they are doing, why they are doing it. Then you do what you need to do based on what you want to achieve, not necessarily by following a stereotype. I don't know if you get my point. Not by following the stereotype necessarily. Just get what works for you and find a way to express your own work to suit your clients. Before I continue, please, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to this my YouTube channel. From next year, I intend putting up new classes, editing tutorials, and short films on this my YouTube channel. So it will be both entertaining and educative. So don't judge it by the way it looks now because we've been like on the break. This is like festive period in Nigeria as at now when I'm shooting this video, which is like December 23rd. Yep, 2025. So most of these blemishes I'm removing, I try to still make sure the image look as natural as possible while we're removing these blemishes, which might take a little while. Feel free to check out my page on Instagram at Nuki Photo, Instagram and Facebook at Nuki Photo. For more of our work, like, comments. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me on YouTube or Instagram. You can just drop a question in my DM. I'll check it. I usually check my DMs. If you don't get a reply from me, you can just buzz me up or something. One thing again with most of these ladies is the way they're trying to stress us with their frontals. That sound is not bad though. I think I remember this particular shoot I did earlier this month or more. The hair at the front, I had to start doing one or two touches. It was not funny at all. It was just crazy. It was really crazy. And the aim of this picture is to make her look beautiful by still while still maintaining her natural look, but then making her look good. Not really flawless, but beautiful. And Blessing is actually beautiful. So I think this should be an easy work. She doesn't even have much stress on her face. I'm just going to clean up my background. One of the things my clients are good at is tearing this background. They will rip the background off with high heels and baby clothes, baby cake, sorry, mess up your background big time. To actually sort out the whole background getting dirty easily stuff, you can actually get like that's what most persons they just get a particular kind of background that suits a neutral that suits most of their background, like carpet or something, and just drop it on it to just make everything quite easier. Then in editing, they'll blend that to make it look good. Okay, let's see. I think this is pretty it. This is pretty much it. I'll save my work again to avoid series that touches the heart. Now this is pretty it, but this is pretty much is rather. But I'll still just want to touch up. I told you this is the first time using this particular this Photoshop 2026. I just installed it today. So it's still some of these things I'll have to as I'm working, I have to work on them. I'm just going to use brush tool to just blend my background to make it look neat. Others rumps the background has. I don't like working with them like that. Let it look neat and natural. So this can work. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys through the before and after, before and after. Let me zoom in so you'll see what I did properly. So this is her face. This is the before. This is the after, before and after, before and after. Okay, like I said, please subscribe to my channel. Please just subscribe to the channel and we'll give you more updates. It's up. Actually, from January, we're starting some classes, like I said earlier, for this video I went and then I first said it. From January, we're doing series of training and shooting short films too. So you'll both be educated and entertained. Okay, so this is pretty much it for my background. Maybe that thing can just be taught later. I just wanted to have this nice feel, reduce the dirt in the background, make it look neat. Let me start working on. Not start the focus separation yet. Okay, this is okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm seeing something on I knew. Yeah. Okay. For the purpose of this class, I'm taking this out. Now, note you have to be very conscious of your client because sometimes stuff like leaving stuff like birthmark or significant scars that has like kind of like tells a story. Though most times if I notice a client having a particular scar, I most times ask, are you comfortable with me leaving this or you want me to take it out? Then if I forget to ask them, for any reason I forget to ask them during the shoot, I usually edit with and without the scar and send to them so they'll make their selection. Though for some clients I get to understand something. Sometimes they'll come to your studio, this person will not like the scars to show, so they want to take it out, but they want to look okay. Where some persons would actually prefer the scars showing because it tells the story of the time they took the picture. You just have to be emotionally intelligent enough to know what your clients prefer. Now, starting at press separation because this is a full shot. For full shot, I don't like using much. I like giving it this natural soft feel. So I use my ratio of 3. If you really want to, if you don't know, because if you don't know how to do focus separation properly, you can actually you can just let me know in the comment section. I can do a training session how to run frequency separation. That shouldn't be a problem. So this, I'm still trying to set up my actions and stuff. That's why I particularly had to edit that action. I didn't involve the part where automatically it opens up the group and also um, activate my mixer brush tool. Now, if you notice this hair stuff, I've not worked on it. Don't worry, that will be sorted out. Oh, let me even do it before I even do this. Let me go back and do the hair stuff so it just make everything final. So I'll just delete the frequency separation, then come down here. And there are different ways to this. Some persons would use the pen tool to select the hair, then find a way to like just this is pretty like straightforward and easy. Then find a way to, after it's been selecting the hair, it's like dope. Select the hair. Let's see this here. Okay, now let's see the front. Yep, then this here. Then this one. Yep, then this. I know this might not be as perfect as you want it to be, but it's fine. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to do this because I just don't want. I'm just trying to just avoid I just want to select out of the hair rather. So I just make selection, reduce zero, so it looks sharp. And I'll use my tool to just sharpen up the selection to avoid the other part of the skin. Now, why I'm selecting her is because I can easily invert, sorry, excuse me, I can easily invert the selection, make it work. Let's see, take this into, okay, I think this pretty much covers it. So now I will invert my selection, then use my clone tool to just brush through. And this might not seem as perfect as you want it to be, which is okay, especially given the fact that the hardness of the brush is actually high. So I'll just come here and make it softer, then take it back again and do the same thing. And this looks more natural. Yeah, this is it. And if your brush is hard, it actually just gives this feel that you might not really understand. So having done this, let me see how it is. Looks good, looks natural. Looks good, looks natural. So excuse me, please excuse me. I need a bit of a drawback around here. Okay, so back to what I was doing. Now I want it to look okay. If you notice, there's like this showing that this part, the color, this part is quite different. So I'm just selecting it and pushing it forward. So it should actually come out fine. Excuse me, having some issues. Yeah. So please pardon me. I'm having an issue. Let me just sort this out sharply. Okay. Yep. And good to go. Okay. Just sit back. Okay. So if you see this image looking great already, if you ask me, but we still have work to do. We still have work to do. So now, if you notice her leg, I feel like her leg is darker than her body. So what I'll simply do is I'll select the leg. Now you can use magic selection tool, but me I prefer quick selection tool. I'll click on enhance edges to help me pick the legs faster. That's all. Just with one click, everything has been selected. But not everything per se, but it's quite accurate enough. Just pick this a bit. Now I could have just deselected the anklet she's wearing, but I think I want it to pop too, so I'll just leave it like that. Now I'm zooming out particularly so I can see the effect it has and moderate it properly. Okay, so increase brightness. Sorry, first of all, adjust the feather. So the reason I'm adding this feather so the edges will not look defined, will look fake. It actually just blends it in. This is it. I think this is pretty much it. So this is the before, after, before, after. It's beautiful if you ask me. Now, most times it's recommended that you actually um, do this in different layers. But personally, I just merge all the correction that I do on the first layer. I like it having that feel summarized on the first layer. This is my personal preference. So, but I would recommend you actually do it on different layers. I don't like layers looking all plenty here, like I'm one bookworm or something. Like this one is Photoshop one. So now back to our frequency separation. It's in ranges of three. This class is actually getting very long, so I'll just rush. I'll do sharp, sharp. So ranges of three. Yep. Then now we start the frequency. Now this frequency separation, the blending most times for me, I used to tell my students anytime teaching them in the studio, I'm like, this blending, it's like you're rubbing the client's powder, or rather, for some clients you're rubbing the powder, for some clients you're actually blending the powder they are carrying already. So you're helping them adjust the powder properly, so everything will just blend easily. If you understand what I'm saying, just blend it beautifully. Make it pop. Ooh. Mind me, this might actually taking most of this stuff you have to do it gently. Though I'm still even rushing it in like this, but you're supposed to just blend it gently. Let it blend. So guys, for those of you that are not following me on social media platforms yet, check out my work on IG at Nugi Photo, on Facebook at Nugi Photo, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more tutorials. We have so much in store for you. We have so much more in store for you. So feel free to check out our work. I'm like 2026 is just packed up with so much that it's so exciting. Can't even I can't begin to see how excited I am. It's funny, it's scary, and so uncertain. But earlier today I was telling a friend, I said uncertainty is one of the core beauties. Is one of the is what bets are the core beauties of life. The fact that we don't know what tomorrow holds, so we have to give up everything. Like there's this strong faith that we're meant to have to be alive is actually beautiful. So, so far, so good. Let's blend our shoe to some of this dirt. Funny how mixer brush kind of just does most of the trick. You don't need to stress much. I still touch this a little bit to just make it look sweet and natural. I don't like this hard shadow she has here. So I'll just blend it a little bit. Then blend this area too so the background will look neater. And I remember one thing about Photoshop is the fact, one thing about editing generally is the fact that different persons have different methods they use. So there's no um, ultimately right way to get these things done. Most times it's just for you to understand how you want to get it done, how you want it, how your kind of client, your kind of editing, your uniqueness, what makes you different from every other person. And that alone should help guide you into doing what makes you outstanding. That easy. That's pretty much it. So far, these are image. This is the before and after. Before and after. So let's see. See the before the frequency. Let's see the changes frequency has done now. This is before the frequency, after the frequency separation. The blending rather before the blending, after the blending. Now, personally, it's going to sound controversial, but personally, excuse me, personally, I don't use laser tool anymore for most of my work, except when I'm doing editorial beauty shots. Doing beauty retouching, it's a different thing. I use mixer brush. I use the laser tool, but I don't use it personally. So for the fact that I don't use it, I'm not going to use it here. I'm going to leave this image like this simple. Then the next thing I apply is my default color grade. This is my personal color grade. So I apply it, then I go to my camera raw to do finishing touches. Like I told you, I just installed most of this software today. I did changes to my software today. So increase brightness. I need more contrast. Then highlights, just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Hey guys, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Nugi Photo. If you have any question at any point in time, you simply just slide into our DM and ask. If there's any tutorial you want me to do, just let me know. I will try my best to bring it to you ASAP. So now, remember I said I like cool pictures, but sometimes I feel it's too blue. So because of that, it means I come here and I reduce the blue, especially when the both the outfit and the background of the image doesn't have as much blue as it portrays in the picture. If I need to reduce it myself, then I work increase my Lumians, sorry for asking a bit just to make it pop better. Drop this a bit because this actually gives me like this nice feel around her lips area and her legs. Then I add my sharpness details rather, make it better, and voila, I'm done with the color grade. Personally, I like looking as natural as possible. If I look like nothing has been done, it's almost like I've not done anything. But this is the before. This is what I've been working on since. It's what it is now. So, like I said, I like maintaining the natural feel. I don't like my image looking too fake. So this is it. Then I next thing I do is my eye and teeth whitening tool. Whiten it using, let's drop this to 30. 30 is okay. I'll zoom in. And I get because most times you will think, the person's teeth is not white from the beginning. It's not always like that. It's just that we did color grading. So doing color grade, it's affect the whole color popping we're doing on the whole color whatever we're doing on the skin also affects the teeth because we're not like deselecting the teeth, you understand? So most times the color grade affects the teeth too. So the teeth and the eyes. That's how we do the whole coloring to just whiten. That's we use eye and teeth whitening tool to just whiten. If you see the before and after. And zoom out. Let's see. This is what we have so far. This is before and after, before and after. And after to iron our clothes. Okay, let's see. This is okay. I save my files. This is like one thing that I always do. I almost always do rather. Saving files. If you don't save your files, when this thing start from beginning, you will feel like killing yourself. Like it's very debilitating. Okay, up next, dodge and burn. Now there are two levels of dodge and burn. For this dodge and burn, I kind of picked part of, I customized little of what Prince Mason does or what he used to do. I don't know if that's what he still maintains. But then I saw the way he separated the dodge and burn in terms. So sometimes for like areas like the normal body area around the body, I the frequency the dodge and burn I do around the body. I don't. It's not necessarily shouldn't be as intense as that around the face because the face now carries makeup and stuff. But body shape is pretty much predefined. It's not doesn't need much attention. So most times the that of the face requires more compared to the body, or sometimes body requires more than the face. So for that, I like that's where I inculcated his global and micro dodge and bond. So micro dodge and bond is more detailed. So, for instance, I use micro dodge and bond for around the face area, um, part of the body that needs detailing, like the lips and stuff like that. But because I like maintaining the natural feeling, I don't want it to look too edited. I usually tone down my edits. Like normal, when the flow around here, most persons use 4 or 5, but I prefer 3 because that way I just want it to be just very soft. So even sometimes after I finish doing the frequency separation, I still go further. So I still go, boss, Mr. Ofems. Good evening, sir. Welcome, President of Shooters Network International, Abuja. I'm loyal, sir. So most times I usually, even after I finish doing the frequency separation, I still tune down my frequency, the opacity rather, the opacity of the frequency to just to make sure it all just blends in. I don't like it looking all artificial. So now I will now dodge a little bit, make the nose pop too. Yep, let's see. Now the arm area, the shoulder. Now, from compass, I was talking to a friend earlier today. I went to see some of my friends. They're both creatives. And I then realized we got talking, and then the whole talk just led to the fact that times change so fast. If you don't try and keep up with the changes, you will get left behind. Think about the stories of companies, the likes of Yahoo Mail, um, Nokia, these guys too, BlackBerry, how those guys were like it in the early 2000s, and suddenly, one way or the other, they just thrifted and started selling their company for a penny. That's like very debilitating. So most times, some of these things that we get, that we do, like usually it used to take time before, but now you sit down on software and before you know, you're done with it. Before you know, you're already done with it. Like time is just it's changing so fast. This is something like even for the Capture One software that we're doing the whole retouching stuff, the blemishes removal and everything. This is something that before, even for the selection, like I did earlier on, even for the selection, you have to literally start following the selection tool. You have to use masking to follow the face, map out everything. But now you can just click subject or background or people and to instantly select it as accurately as possible, like I showed earlier on. So it's just crazy. It's just for us to use wisdom to navigate through these times to avoid being left behind. If not, it's God that will help us. So these are Dodger Bond before and after. I think I like the way it's popping now, but I still want to focus more on her lips a bit. I'll use the micro Dodger Bond to just make the lips and the eyebrow pop more to give the makeup beauty. So just around the eye area. Now, so sometimes the person be like, you're actually too fast. You're editing too fast. It's going to reduce the accuracy. Right now, it's no longer about working fast but working smart. It's not about working hard rather, but working smart. That's what pays now. Now, no longer most clients don't even know the difference between the software you're using. You're not that killing yourself trying to do the whole. I want to do everything. I want to do this. I want to make sure when you're shooting, you maintain as much details as you want. Make sure your scene is as neat and as accurate as it possibly can. See, but even my boss agrees with me. Time's really changing. So make sure you set your scenes to be as neat as possible because some of these things, when you come back to editing, it's you see yourself trying to make a picture good enough instead of making the picture great. That's where the difference is. You make the picture good enough. If you make sure you clear up your scenes very well before during the shoot, you take out that small dirt you see on the background, you take it out, you take out everything. Sometimes like I even spend like up to 20 minutes in the studio before I start shooting. My clients will be seated. I'll make sure you're comfortable, play music for you, You stand and I stand that extra after when I started the shoot, I can still take like extra 3 to 5 minutes just trying to make this make sure everything is perfect. You see me in clean background, even if it's from home, I'll get brush, sweep the background, use clothes to clean it up, make sure everything is okay. If you notice, look at the original picture. You notice my background is pretty clean. This is the original picture. Background, I make sure I picked everything. The little dirt you see around the background is for areas that actually deliberate stains. Like this one was client's shoe that spots it, then sign of their shoe again and stuff. So I don't play with it at all. Even if when I'm taking my shots, look, I made sure I cut the least part of the background so and cleaning it up will be pretty easy and straightforward. So most times doing that actually very, very necessary. So you just avoid the stress. Imagine me now having to start cleaning background back to back like that. It's real sharp. If you guys have not followed my channel yet, please do well to follow me. Subscribe to this channel. I'll be dropping more training session. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment section or you slide into my DM. You can also follow me on Instagram at Nugi Photo. Your boy is loyal. I am making it a point of deliberate action to push myself out there to impact young persons, impact upcoming photographers like me. Oh. I'm still coming up. Upcoming photographers, creatives to ginger us. The Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. So does it. The content, the man, a man, the content has on his friends. So let's get to connect and build good art that speaks further than just our passion and our desire to make money. We're almost done. So basically, now I'm done with the body, which is actually dope. But because that's why let picture not look that bad, I will just introduce. Maybe we'll just change the background a bit, just make it look tush. Now, different persons have different ways they work on their background. For the purpose of this class, I'm not going to use creative. I'm not going to use generative features to get a different background. I'll just stick to using the old traditional method because most persons don't subscribe their Photoshop for now. Most persons use craft. Excuse me. Most persons use craft softwares, which is not good. At least I'm not in the category of person that will be advising you not to use cracked softwares. My Photoshop is now paid for. I felt it too, but I've paid for it. And I'm paying for other softwares now. So you just close that and just pay for it. If you cannot pay for it alone, you can get someone to just merge with you. I think the basic package allows 2 devices and I paid about 35K. So you can just get someone to just merge with you and it's less than 20K sub for the month. At least that should be like money for one photo shoot or so. I believe photo shoot money should be uh more than that, shall we should start making deliberate actions to make sure most of these things counts. For us to grow, we have to accept some of the challenges that come with increments. You get. So sorry for the background. I got carried away. Now I drop my background here. Then I'll change the blending mode to multiply. Different methods. Some persons use overlay. Some persons use screen. It works. They all work. But personally, why I use multiply is because multiply is still multiply shows the image but still recognizes all the contrasty aspects of your original image. Now I'll merge all layers here so it will help make my selection quite easy and seamless. To kind of make my selection quite easy and seamless. Now I come to this place and I will now select. Now see another beautiful Photoshop. The selection is just sweet. The selection is sweet. So I just select my subjects. Let me use cloud to just make it very easy, straightforward, and dope. So if you just select my subject for me, yes, I can use genetic features. Oh, but earlier today I tried using the genetic features to just doing anyhow. But let me use it. Let me use it and see. Okay, we've selected our subject. Let me just make sure everything is pretty much neat. Pretty much neat. It's just like I believe it didn't select this part of her nail because the color of the nail is similar to that of the background itself. Okay, let me select it first, then we'll try the genetic feature. Let's do it together. Earlier today, I tried doing it. It was not giving me the vibe I wanted. So I was like, okay, probably I should leave it first. When I get back, when I study it properly, I can now do something regarding that. Hey, I cannot do a different tutorial for that. Let me select this. Sometimes you'll be like, ah, this is not a big deal. So these things what make your work stand out from persons that just rush through their editing like this. This small, small perfection you pay attention to. It might seem like it doesn't count. There's something your client might not even be able to even pinpoint what makes your work outstanding. But you see these details you give, it goes far. And one other thing again is sometimes we give excuses of, the thing is, nobody will know. You're not going to be there to defend your work when they are viewing the work. So you definitely have to now look out for what you know you want persons to see in your work and still feel like, ah, okay, yeah, he's actually doing a great job. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, if it makes sense. So now I've selected my background. Let's try our generative feature. Let's see, let's generate. What should we put now? What kind of background? Someone should suggest in the comments. Tell us what kind of background should we change it to. I'm waiting. Come on, give me background. Let's which one should we change it to? Use this. Presido, which kind of background should we change? What kind of background should we change? To give us a prompt we should use. Please down since you're the one that was suggested we use generated features. Which what kind of background should we change it to? Home setting, forest, mountain top. Let's see. Okay, I think Presido is not on it. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Seamless Canva. I'm not. I just now typing outside. This my keyboard is so soft. So this new keyboard I bought, very soft. Like if you just touch it, yeah, and if I'm not using my strong hand to press it. We have feel of outdoor. Let's see what to give to us. Let's see. It's funny how photography is slowly moving from being just about taking pictures to making magic. About 10 years ago, it was purely just giving us good pictures. Now photography is about magic. You see something in your head and you automatically create something beautiful. Ah, ah, ah. This is not it, oh. Okay. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this one. Like serious nope. Oh. This is not it at all. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, so this is not gonna work. So let's see. What else should we try? 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 Let me see. Okay, then Canva background, backdrop rather, with calm shades of window shadow, window shades, and cast it on the wall. Okay. If this doesn't work, I'll skip it for this tutorial and then come back with another tutorial that will probably do something better. Because I think another factor to consider is the particular AI I'm using. Now I'm using Gemini 3 with Nano Banana Pro, but I think it can actually be better. I have not done my research on it. Like this particular part of the training is was testing what as. Let's see. Okay, okay. Mm, nah, it's still not giving me the vibe I want it. Let me use another to set the ANC. Oh, it's almost 12 o'clock. Wow. Let me round up this training. So we'll go and sleep. I started pretty late today because I had some things I had to sort out, then back and forth, back and forth. And then NEPA now told me, nay, not today. Okay, let's see. So this was this is what I typed, this is what I added. It's not bad, Sha. Well guys, it's not a problem. In our next class, actually next tutorial I'll explain better how to use this creative feature. But let me just do this and just blend it using the normal background selection thingy. I promise you guys, I owe you a tutorial on how to freestyle this properly. And this doesn't look natural, so I'll turn down the opacity. Let me see around 65, no, make it 55. Six. Yeah, I like this. Now, the aim is not to necessarily change the background per se, but to just make the plain background not look really plain. It look more like this canvas feel it gives, to make it look natural and neat. I like this particular shade of gray, like this feel it's giving. Now, let me add shade, window shade. I think I have that window shade feature around here. If you need it, you can just slide into my DM. I got it from someone. But from another photographer a few months ago. I think few months or years ago for how much was it? I think 1.5 or so. Pretty cheap. So I can just give it to you for free. No stress. If you need it, just slide into my DM. I'll just sort it out. Okay, let's see. Blend it, make it look natural. Dope. I like this view. This looks simple and just natural. And given the fact that there's this shade of light on her shoulder, making it look natural, making it look like, okay, yeah, the light's actually coming from that side and just casting. I like it. Then I'll do blur it a bit to just help me soften the edges of the light. It's too much. This is too much. This is okay. Yep, I think I like this. Yep, this is dope. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I like this. This is nice. Then I'd want to add a little touch of shadow around here just to soften the background a bit to make it look good. More contrast around that ground area. Now this is actually okay, but because I want to touch I want to reduce the feather a bit, I'll just increase the feather. Yeah, this is okay. I like this. Then I'll drop the opacity to 75. Let's make it look darker. And this might look unnatural. Okay, let's see. So this is okay so far. Mm, okay, I like this. Let me still increase the feather a little bit. Make it blend a bit. So this is the before, after, before. Let me select this. You see, before, after, before. I remember I've not actually deselected. I've not taken out my model from the background. So I'll simply just create a layer with this. So this selection that we did here from the background. So basically, because I didn't mask the selection, I'll just select the background and then it will pick out the part of the background that is my model because based on the selection, that's how it is. I'll now invert it, come here, create a masking tool around it, and voila. So I'll now invert it. I'm inviting it so to show the part I don't want to show. Show the part I want to show rather than not show the part I don't want to show. So it's no longer on my model's face. It's now away from my model. Dope, right? So let's see. This is the picture so far. This is before, after, before, after, before, and after. Lastly, I'll just add my vignette to make it pop better. But this vignette is too much, so I'll drop it down to like 6.5%. Let's drop it to 50. I don't want it much since my background is already kind of dark. And this generally, I think I would want to still drop this a little bit. So I'll just make this, let's make this 85. And just to be calm, calm. Yeah, but this is better. This 55 is still okay. Let me make it 50. I want the image to look overall too dark. Okay. I save my files. Now, most times we like putting our watermark on the picture for intellectual property rights. So just click my logo and drop it on the image. Excuse me. Okay, it's saving my file. That's why it's a bit slow. Okay, so I'll just stick the logo. Mm, should I drop this logo now? I don't like my logo taking too much attention. But let me just drop it here. Then I reduce it to make it seem like it's I'm doing too much. So reduce it a little bit. So persons be like, your logo is too small. How would they even see your work? I don't know. For personally, I don't like announcing it too much like that. I want to just look simple and small once I have the background. Let's see. So, guys, this is let me run you through everything we did because I think we're done. I'll just keep it like this. So, first of all, this is the original image. So, first clean the background. I took out the dirt in the background. This there is clean up this background, and that gave me this. In between, I also brightened up her leg. If you notice, the leg area was a bit dark before, and I made it bright a bit. Then the hair around the hair and the blemishes on her face. Zoom so you see it. So around the hair and the blemishes on her face, I actually just took out, trimmed the hair a bit, remove those parts that is actually not looking nice. Then also remove the blemishes on her face. Afterwards, I now did a frequency separation, which helped me work on her skin. Sorry, excuse me. Worked on her, sorry, on her skin. This is for frequencies before and after, for the frequency separation. This is the after. Then I color grade it. And when I color grade, I like it looking very natural, as possible. I want us to be done with this class. Oh, let's say 12 o'clock already past 12. Sorry, guys, for keeping you up this late. Then I whiten the eyes and then dodge and bond, global dodge and bond. We'll focus on her body. Then the macro dodge and bond focused on the lips. And so this is the global dodge and bond. Also the body and the face, general body. The macro dodge and bond focused on the lips. If you notice, this is the after. This is the before. The lips, the eyebrow, the eyes popped better. Then I merge all the tools. Then added my background to give this nice feel. Then added this to just make it look darker. I'm one that loves dark in pictures. I'm trying my best not to let it influence my work. Some photographers actually told me a particular time that I like too much that my photos of pictures are too dark. But personally, it's my preference. In as much as there's room for, if you check my page, there are bright thin pictures there. But that's what calls to me. So I think if you recognize your kind of work and your kind of clients, it will help you narrow down the stress of having to fit into everybody's preference of photography and the output. So lastly, saving the file. Now, do I have an action for saving my file here? But for the purpose of this class, I will actually save it manually. So first of all, to save it, I resize the image by either by pressing Ctrl Alt I or Command Alt I on Mac pixels because social media works with 2000 about 2000 pixels. I still like leaving mine at 2000 pixels, not necessarily 2048. Then the sampling, I come to preserve quality and increase my blur to about like reduce noise to about 10. So sometimes why I use this reduce noise because sometimes when you export your picture, because of how we try to maintain the quality of the image when exporting it, it makes the image look too crispy, too shiny, like it wants to start being noisy. That's why I use this reduce noise. And then sometimes I print to give this crispy feel, but at the same time smooth feel. That's why I use this. And this 2000 is for the purpose of social media. Click OK to resize the image automatically. Once it resizes the image, the next thing we do is to sorry, next now since that resized image, next thing I do is to save it. Now saving the image too is another thing that matters because you have to know where you're saving it exactly. You have to know what you want to use the image for. So if it's for prints and stuff like that, you would save it in different formats. Basically, to save the image, you come to export, then save for web. This save for web now works with social media a lot and it can still be used for print, but it maintains the quality for social media. So this is the shortcut for it for Windows is Alt Shift Control S. For command is command for Mac, sorry, is Command Alt Control S. Just click it, it will open up this interface. Now you make sure under the type of file you select JPEG, then your optimization optimize should be clicked. Embedded color profile. So this embedded color profile makes it ensures that even if the picture is sent to another social media platform or sorry, so it's uploaded on social media, try to maintain the color, kind of color the picture carries, so you not see your color grade being affected. Sometimes some platforms generally just shrinks the image to it how will I put it? It reduces the depth of the colors. So you just make sure you put this direct color profile to maintain the color kind of color grade and the color details your picture carries. Quality should be 100. Copyright and content information, obviously. I like keeping it on because this carries the information regarding the gadgets that takes the picture, this editing I did on the picture, all the software I use, all the process the picture passed through is contained in the metadata of the image. If I select this and convert to sRGB because of the stills color profile we're talking about. Now for this, some persons used to use nearest neighbor by cubic smarter, but I use by cubic smarter sharper, sorry, because it gives the image this final crispy feel that I really love, that I really love. And having done that, just click export. I have a particular folder dedicated to any pictures I work on. If you notice, I named it export. So I think that actually makes sense. So exclude irrespective of the kind of shoot I'm doing, or the client's picture I'm working on, so long as it's a client's work, they are all taken to this export folder. And it's most of my pictures, most of the pictures I've done, they are actually sent to this export folder. And that's the export folder. That's where you now I, I can now go to the export folder, pick their particular picture, and send it um to the folder their main picture is for when I want to back up. But from here, I usually just send all pictures there to save me stress. Click OK, it saves the picture automatically. You press Control S or Command S to ensure that the PSD file is saved properly. If it's not saved before, to give you a prompt for you to save it. To give something like this for you to save the file at first. But if you can see there, you can see I can see that I saved it already, so there's no need for me to save it anymore. After you finish saving it, your work is done, and you close your Photoshop. So let me see. Let's go and see our final image, guys. Let's see. Excuse me. Yep. So this is our finished work. Let me put the before and the after beside each other. Okay. Use let me use capture one. Let me use the actual image folder. Excuse me. Okay, so this is our before and our after. See, it's not really much. It's almost looking the same if you ask me. But I like this feel. I like this film so much, and it's really beautiful. Now, one of the things that guides my own photography editing, my pictures editing, video editing generally, is I want it to be as natural as possible, yet neat. So this is before, this is after. Now, for other images, it could depend on the kind of image and kind of clothes the model is wearing or the client is wearing. I like giving it this nice edit. There's some pictures that might do more than this. Maybe I might do more than this, but for this particular picture, I just feel like keeping it simple is actually nice. I would have easily dropped spotlight effect around her or do something nice and exciting, but this particular I just want to keep it simple. So, guys, thanks for staying with me this long, down to midnight. I really appreciate it. If you have any question, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. I think I can still put, I'll see if I can post this video. I can sharpen this video a bit and post it on YouTube channel so you can watch it later for details you missed out. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment section, slide into my DM, or better still, you can just follow me on social media platform at Nogi Photo and ask questions on any of the platform. I'll reach out to you at any point. I'm like very, very active. I'm more like a knock now. So this is our image for today. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll just give us just a minute to see if anyone has any question. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. If I wait for 2 minutes and I don't see any question, I'll round up the class and we'll be done for tonight so I can bid you good night. Let me not stress you further than I've taken out of your midnight. So any question, I'm waiting for you, please. Okay, not a problem, sir. The rematch is not a problem. I would actually, like I said, I would want to post this particular training on my YouTube channel. But even aside that, I would still do another tutorial soon. I didn't start this on time because I had to work some things out. But I would properly plan for the next training. Then I will let us know. I might even get a model, do the shoot for a particular day, then do the editing the following day. So we'll get things right this time around. I really appreciate you for staying, sir. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I guess there will be no question again. Let me let you rest. Once again, thank you so much for sticking with us. I really, really appreciate, and I hope to really be of service to the community, both in teaching and giving more information, impacting knowledge. I think that's like a very dope flex for me. having the privilege of impacting, it's really beautiful because in giving, you empty yourself for more. I think that's how I see it. In giving, you expand yourself to receive more in return. Just not just even the satisfaction of impacting, but also the opportunity for growth. So I don't take it for granted. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I don't want this to extend too much, so I'll not have issue uploading it and doing other things online. I really appreciate you for this. This is my YouTube channel. Feel free to follow me on other social media platforms, Nogi Photo. And I am your humble host. Like we say in the podcast, I'm actually just a photographer. I'm a creative director for Nogi Photo Studio. My name is Matthew Momo, but I'm popularly called Nugi the Great. So signing out, guys, for tonight. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful night rest. Thank you so much. Hmm.